Hello, welcome to this stream this day. I'm Darlington Gospel again, and in this stream, I want to teach you about preparing your images for IPFS deployment. So I noticed that you need a good image processed so that you can actually deploy your content on the IPFS, and that is where your data for each one of your NFTs will be minted from or will be extracted. So if it is posted there and you're minting it from the OpenSea platform, OpenSea is going to go to that particular image URL, the metadata of your image, your images, and then extract those essential information such as the name of your NFT. Let me just show you this, for example. So here is in OpenSea right now. This is one NFT that was minted. When it was minted, what happened was that IPFS went to a particular location on the IPFS and grabbed this image and grabbed the information about it, such as the description, the name of the image, which is name of the NFT, which is NFT number 11, the properties such as every properties as well that were captured inside of that particular NFT, and the rarity. All those things are all incorporated into that particular NFT. So let's see, for example, when you come to IPFS, okay, here, hopefully it opens speedily. Normally takes some great amount of time. So to resolve this, let's use let me show you how it is here. I'm going to paste this image here and check it out on the internet. Okay, these are different services that are offering access to this. So this is just an example. Let's see that example number 11. All right, so did you see this? These are the information that OpenSea is actually capturing from this location, because when you minted that NFT, what actually happened under the hood is that this became the base URI for that particular NFT. This is the metadata location. So whenever it's minted, OpenSea goes to this particular location and grab information such as the ID, the name of the NFT, which is 11, the description, the price, this image address. This is the image location of the particular image that we're going to be using. So for example, if I click on this, you see this is the image right here, and this image link takes us to that, and these are other extra properties that were part of this particular NFT. So that is what is showing up here. All these things that I mentioned recently, you see, this is the description, this is the properties. You can see stuff such as environment, weapons, levels, and all that, which are all captured here. You can see things such as environment is sky, weapon is what stick, rarity is 11, history, and all that. So this is what is happening under the hood, and I want to help you in this tutorial to help you prepare your images and your metadata in this format. Normally there is some art engines that you can use in doing this. There is actually generating artworks, okay, where you have multiple layers of NFT artwork. So you compile them together using this NFT art engine to do that. Well, in this tutorial today, I'm going to teach you a different method to read. For example, if you should have like bulk of images already and you just want to attach some metadata around it to make it metadata equipped, you understand, because you can just post the images just like that on the internet. Let me give you an example right now. if you check, let me open this. So this is an artwork right here. So these are images, bulk of images from, this is how I got all these things started. You can see images of different extension. We have PNG, JPEG, and so on. Their names are completely messed up. Some of them having emoticons and all that. So in this tutorial, I want to show you how you can convert this image, such as this. You understand? Such as this is an image. Having this image actually right now, each one of them you can check the variations in their quality. You can see the sizes, that this one is 652 kilobyte. You have one of 7.7 megabyte with different sizes, and we both know that it's not very wise to use heavy loaded images such as this. The sizes are just insane, and also not only that, the dimension of the image also is a problem here, because we don't want dimensions that are messed up. For example, if I check the information about this particular image, I could see that this image has what, 768 by 960 dimension. Meanwhile, if I should check a different image right now, okay, look at this one right here that is so wide. When I check the property of this image information, you see that this one is way higher. Okay, this is even lower. See, we have 688 times 688 dimension, and we don't want all this sort of messed up dimensions when we are actually shipping all these images on the internet. So we want to work on these images. I think we have about 100 of them here. So 100 of this artwork. I'm going to show you how to work on it and actually generate metadata around it. For example, here's my output. I actually made it in WebP. Look at how small it is now, how each one of them are completely optimized with the same size. All of these images, they have the same dimension and all of that. I want to teach you how to do stuff like this, so that when you start working on your NFT project, you won't be handicapped by limitations of ideas on how to manipulate all these things for your own good. So if you're ready, then let's get started. We're going to code this thing all from scratch, so you have no worries at all. Let's get started about it. Okay, now to get started, jump into your terminal, all right, and let's just go to a particular location, like your working directory, where you want all of this thing to be kept. So for me, this is my working directory right here. You can choose your own working directory. I'm going to create a project that will house all of these things, so that I won't have to be doing it by myself. So the first thing I need to do is I will have to create a new directory or a new project. I could just say, make directory, make dar. In case you're actually using Windows or some other OS, you can create the folder yourself. Okay, you don't have to use terminal like I'm using, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm going to use this method. So make directory, and let's call this name of directory Preprocessor. All right, so I've made that. When I do ls to list it, you see that these are my dapps folder. This is preprocessor. Now I want to cd into that preprocessor. All right, now I'm inside of that place. I want to another dependency of this is that you must have NodeJs installed already on your computer, because we're using NodeJs to create this project. This is a Node project. Okay, so get NodeJs first and install it. If you haven't done that, pause this video, go to NodeJs website and download it. However, if you've not subscribed to this channel, please do. I'm going to be releasing a whole lot of useful, amazing use cases of Web3 projects and a whole lot of cool stuff, such as what you're learning has a lot of values, a lot of them. So I'm having a lot of them both in React Native, and Next.js. All of these things are going to be coming on this channel, and I really want you to get that thing subscribed, like, hit the notification button, and get ready to DApp with me. All right, so with that said, let's get started. So right now I'm in this preprocessor folder right now. What I want to do now is to initialize my node project. How I do that is by running npm npm init. This is to initialize, but I just want to pass in this flag called yes. So I'm saying yes to a whole lot of questions that I was supposed to ask. I don't want to answer those questions, so I just click enter, and this has been created for me. So the next thing I want to do is to just open this project on VS Code. To do that, you just say code and then this dot. Although some of you may not already have this thing, set up this way, but if you do, that is a bonus for you. But if you haven't, then I would recommend that that you actually set it up, or open VS Code, open the folder which you just created in VS Code, and then you proceed. Without writing this thing, you just open this preprocessor folder on VS Code and you'll be good to go. So with that said, I'm going to open in this method. So when I do this, it opens up on VS Code. I'm going to trust this thing. So now here we are right now. This is the package.json. This is where we list out the things that we want to install, or the things that we're going to be installing. This is where it's going to be stored, so you get that area sorted out. Okay, so now this is what you need to do next. Just open your terminal, because VS Code actually comes integrated with the terminal. All right, so I've already set up my own to use Bash, which is a Git application that helps me perform a lot of this sort of operation, terminal-based operations and all that. So, but you can use, if you're on Windows, you can use your command prompt or PowerShell. If you're on Mac, you can use your regular, terminal, and it will work just fine. So don't worry, so long as it's a terminal, it will work fine. So the first thing I want to add two packages. All right, so let's say npm install. These two packages I want to install, let me show you. One is what? Faker. Recently, the Faker creator kind of pulled the plug on the Faker library, and a lot of people's project was broken online, and that drama unfolded. And what happened was that another dude on the internet, created like an alternate version of this Faker, which kind of comprises all the things that were missing on the other one, and you can see that it's actually having a whole lot of downloads now. So it's pretty good. Like, it's just like a perfect replacement for the old Faker library. Now we can use this particular Faker, but it's not the same as the old one. All you just need to install it at faker-js/faker. So I'm going to copy this one and paste it here. Okay, and save-dev. Okay, so also I don't only want to install that, I also want to install this library called Sharp. Sharp is going to be really instrumental to this. Why Faker is going to be useful in making some random things available to us as we run the code. This Sharp is used for manipulating or batch processing the images. Okay, is an image processing library that is going to make our process, this image processing algorithm that we're writing, to be a lot fluid, clean and straight to the point. So it's really good. I totally recommend it. It's well documented. I just like it. So this is what I used in making these particular NFT images, making it that at this shape. Look at it right now. This shape is actually 500 by 500 pixel. You understand? So I want all my images, regardless of the dimension, all of them to be 500 by 500 pixels. So I'm using this Sharp image, this Sharp npm package. So I'm going to I'm gonna include it. Okay, so I don't need to run it here. I could run it in the terminal here. So say npm install sharp. Okay, and then I also want to install add faker-js/faker. Okay, and I want these things to be saved in the dependent, that is in the development, section, because it's just for development purposes. I'm not going to ship this project like online. It's just development process. So you click enter, and then you watch it install the entire thing, and once it is installed, we'll be good to go. Okay, so while that is installing, I want to show you this. You need to install IPFS client basically. Okay, this is a desktop application that will enable you to ship your codes online. Sorry, not your code, your images to the IPFS network. I'm going to come back again on this to show you step by step how this thing works practically, so you have no reason to even have any issue around it. So these two things I've actually installed successfully. You can see this is the faker library, and this is what the sharp library. Everything here is installed properly. Oh my god, I think I just made some mess. I kind of wrote this thing twice, npm install, so it kind of installed these two packages for me, which is not what part of the installation. I wonder how you did that. So basically it's these two things that I needed anyway. So it is done. Now the next thing that you need to do now is to bring in your original images. Okay, these are the images that are unprocessed. They are like all the images that you're going to need. So let's just bring it to this particular location. So this is my art right now. So I'm going to copy. Okay, I'm going to just duplicate it. So I'll call it okay, I'm going to duplicate it, and I'm going to move it to this particular folder, my working directory that I'm currently on right now. So let me just go to preprocessor. Fantastic, this is where I want this app to be. So what will happen here is I'm going to, okay, fantastic, I'm going to drag this copy of it here. Okay, now I can close here. Now in this place, I'm just going to rename this folder here. These are my images, so you can get your own personal images. All right, so and get this thing done like this. So now these are my artworks of various kinds. You see the naming convention, everything is just messed up. So I'm going to have to do this thing myself. You can see the sizes, some of them are 2 megabytes, as large as that. We both know that it's not going to be very much optimized on the web, so we want to optimize this thing very well. So that's the first step that I did, was to bring in all these images. You understand? These are different images, they are huge, with different names. So this is what we're going to be using, So with that said, now let's create the script that is responsible for running this operation that I'm about to show you now. So create a new file, call it imagify. Sorry, not there. Here, I'm going to create a new file, call it imagify.js. All right, but before I do that, I also want to create a folder here, call it output. Okay, output. So we have this is artwork. So when this output is going to contain the processed images that are all captured here. All these images are going to be processed and dumped into this place, this folder. That is what we are trying to achieve here. So in case you don't understand, that is what we are trying to do here. right now. So the next thing you want to do is come here. You want to import these libraries, okay, that we're going to be using. One is what called say const fs, which is file stream, is an inbuilt module in Node.js that enables you to manipulate folders and files and write files, create files, delete files, update files. So all of those things, it enables you to do this thing. So you say is equal to require, all right, want to require that file stream fs, basically that is what it's called. So we also want another one. This one is, I think we're going to need 3 of them for now. So let's say this one is path, okay, and let's call this path, of course. I want to get sharp, the library that is going to enable us to do all this cool image transformation. Of course, I want to get the Faker library. Faker, Alright, so let's get it from Faker. Fantastic. Lastly, I want to get, say, const this input. Basically, what this thing is that this is the location where I'm getting all my images from, which is from art. So I'm getting all these images from this art directory. All right, that is my input, and then my output. All right, output, which is going to be gotten from this output folder here, right here. Fantastic for that. So these are all the positioning that we need. Next, want to initialize an image counter. All right, and of course we want to start it with 1, and we want the image size, img size, to be an object where we have the width to be what? Width to be 500, so 500 pixel, and height to be what? Height to be 500 as well. So you have these two set up. Another one is, another thing we want to do now is to also want our desired extension. So we have desired extension. Okay, so we could use JPEG, we could use PNG. Okay, for now I'm going to use PNG. Now I'm going to show you some differences why the best option for you by the time we finish up with this. Okay, the next thing we want to do is to the base URI. So we want to say const base underscore URI is equal to, let's call this https /ipfs.io/ipfs. Okay, IPFS slash, this place would be like, I'm going to replace it in later on, IPFS CID URL. Okay, so for now let's just have it like this. Okay, but that is not the correct one. We're going to change this later, this particular place. Okay, we're going to replace it with the real content ID from the internet. All right, so now let's create another this thing called const attributes. Okay, these attributes are like the characteristics of our NFT. That is what will be contained. It's more like an embodiment, all the features that our NFT are going to be carrying. So we want to put them on here. For example, we want our NFT to have bare weapons, and this weapon is an array. So we have stick, we have knife, that different kind of weapons. Okay, let's just make that more. So knife, we have blade, we have club, we have axe, we have sword, okay, we have spear, and we have hard, yeah. Okay, so that's just all we're gonna need for now. So this set of weapons, so these are what we are using, and we also have environment, environment. Just a moment, why I'm actually naming this thing. If you check weapons, for example, here, let me show you. Okay, you see that this character is like a warrior, and it bearing a lot of, it's like a samurai character. So basically his weapon is actually what, sword. Okay, so he's a fighter. We have another one, this kind of also is a fighter as well. We have, this is a space guy. We know that, have bullets and all those sort of things. And okay, so different weapons, different things, different environment. Okay. All right, like this is a spacecraft. These are different kinds of weapon. We can even change this one, something like let's change this to gun, gun, and let's say spacecraft. All right, so these are like, let's just call it craft, since they are one word. So these are various weapons. But the environment, what I'm calling environment, is that you can see that this is what each one of these images have their own environment, like the kind of environment they carry. Like this is what a mountainous environment. This is let's just say this is a space environment. This is a you can call it a forest environment. This is different environment. This is great view. We have, oops, we're not gonna need this, so let's delete that. Okay, so we have, okay, this is what a forest environment. You've seen how each one of these environments look like. So this is what I'm trying to say. So now our work is to assign them different environment as well. So that's why I'm saying I'm putting this thing under, as part of what we want to do. So the environment, we have different environment. For example, we have space as one environment. Okay, space. We have sky. We have desert. Okay, and we have forest. We have grassland. We have mountains. We have ocean. And we also have rainforest. Okay, so these are just different possible environment that we're going to be needing. And then lastly, we need some rarity traits. Okay, so let's create, this is just rarity trait, so it kind of give an extra information about a particular NFT. So we say array dot from. Okay, so basically this is just like this is like, okay, let's just be done. So array, I want 6 items in this array, and I want their keys. Okay, so I'm going to show you what this will produce like a random number for me. Okay, between 0 or 1 to this thing to 6, but let me make that 10. Okay, so it's going to produce a particular number amongst that. So I'm using this thing, to generate, like random number between, 1 to 10 for me. So okay, so we're done with all the information that are going to be needed for the metadata of our NFT. So the next thing I want to do now is to start looping through. Like, we want to get into this folder and loop through each one of these images and actually start processing them one after the other. So that is where we now use this file stream library, and then we say read directory sync. Okay, so we're reading and synchronizing with the folder or the directory. So we supply the location of which directory that we want, the path. So we say this input path, that is where we want to look into, and then we're using a for loop. So for each statement, basically. Okay, and that for each, we want to say each file here. Okay, and because this is an arrow function. So for each one of the file inside of this artwork folder, I want these things to happen to them. First of all, one will get, the original extension, because original extension equal to, because each one of them, you find some of them are PNG, some of them are JPEG, you understand? So one will grab their original extension first before moving forward. So we say this part dot what? This part dot, the path basically, remember, is this is what? A path library. So we're actually invoking that path dot extension name, and then file. We're passing in this file. So what is happening is that this part, each file will pass it into this path library, and that path will get us the extension, the particular extension. If it is a JPEG, if it is a PNG, or if it is a GIF, it's going to extract it and store it into this folder. So the next thing you want to do, we want to grab the file name. All right, so we say original file name, file underscore name. All right, so this time we call this path.base name. So that is how you get it, base name, and then you pass in the file. So, but when you're doing this, it's gonna bring it like in a dotted format. So like I just splitted it. When I splitted it, I actually just grabbing. Okay, let's just do this thing. Let's do console.log this original file name. Let me show you what I mean here. Control Z there. Now I'm gonna add like a script here. Let's call it process, and it's gonna be like node imagify.js. so this is what the script is gonna run each time we call it. So let's just say npm process, and reading that properly. npm run process, npm run. Okay, so you see that it's gonna see how it actually brought that each one of the names of those images that are on that folder. So this is what I'm talking about, but I want to show you something. You see that one distinguishing factor of these images is that it all ends with a dot, png, jpeg, png. So that is where I want to what? I want to split, use that JavaScript split function to cut it there so that I can now have this first side is going to be the name of the image, and then the second side of it is going to be the extension of the image. That is what we are actually trying to do here. So to do that, all we just need to do is what? To say call the split method, and say that you should split it in wherever it finds a dot, and just grab the first part of it, which is 0. Okay, this will only log out the file names now. So now if we come here and let's clear the screen and let's run this process again, you see that it's only bringing out the names of the file. So that is what I'm trying to let you know here. So I'm glad that is out of our way. So now let's move on. So I want to perform some if condition here, checking. So here I'm going to write, this is an array. I want to check, if this extension, because I'm only going to be looking for extensions that are JPEG, PNG, JPEG, GIF, and WebP. So those are those images that I would like to process. So I don't want to process everything. For example, I may have PDF inside of this art folder, and we don't want our image engine to actually go about processing that together. So we want to bring in some law and order into this code. So we say image JPEG, we have .png, we also have .gif, and we'll have a .webp. All right, so want to check, does it include this array? Does it include this original extension? So does it contain the original extension? If it does, this is what I want it to do. First of all, I want to get the ID. ID is equal to what? Image counter, img counter. Remember, we initialize this here, image counter right here. So this is the image counter right here, and one will assign that as an ID, because we want to use that ID to polish our to identify each one of those NFTs. So that's just what is happening. So now I want to say const metadata, okay, is equal to an object, and inside of this metadata, this is where we have to specify exactly how it is. So we want to build this metadata. This is how we want to build it. You understand? We want it to be in this format like this. So we want to arrange it this way. So that is what we're trying to achieve here. So let's do this. First thing first, I need to let it have an ID. So in JavaScript allows me to do something like this. This key is actually this ID, which is this ID. I could shorten this thing to just be like this. So the key and the value are meshed together. And then the name of this NFT, let's call this so let's call it Adulam NFT, right? And want to give it a number. Okay, so I'm gonna interpolate the ID inside of this so that each one of the names are gonna be a little bit unique as well. So I want to give it a description. Okay, so the description is like AI art and NFT collection, AI art NFT collection. So mint and collect the hottest NFTs around. Okay, so this is the description of each one of the NFTs that we're going to be building. So the next thing, I want to assign a price, although IPFS doesn't really use this price. You're going to be like, OpenSea doesn't really use this price. You're going to be the one to actually list the price that you want to sell your NFT on the internet, but just for, aesthetics sake, let's just add price key there. I want to have this thing called demand. Okay, this is where we're using that faker library, to randomly generate, like, this key say that this is how much in demand this particular NFT is right now. So we want to assign a certain key, a random number starting. The minimum is 10 and the maximum is 100. So we want to put that thing there. So we use faker library to do a random generator, random.numeric. In this numeric, I want to specify the number that I want. The minimum number is 10, and the maximum number is actually 100. All right. So, So now, next thing I want to do, want to give you some attributes. Okay. So attributes. So attributes is going to be an array. The first attribute I want to give it is, you actually call it traits. Okay, you call it trait, and then you specify the type of trait that you want to give to it. So this first trait is going to be called environment. You understand? Environment. So, and then the value of the trait will be equal to. So I'm actually invoking this trait key here. Okay, this trait key. So I'm going to call this environment and just extract one of them. So I'm going to say trait dot environment dot sort. This is a function in an array function in JavaScript that randomly select something. So I'm gonna randomly select these environments. So it's not gonna be like by my own way of doing it. It's gonna be like the machine, the computer randomly assigning environments to each one of these images. So I'm gonna say sort, the arrow function here, 0.5, say math random. So this is how you create random numbers in JavaScript. So when it does that, it kind of shuffle. Basically what it does, it just shuffle the array. It just rearrange the array. So once it shuffles, all you just want is to get the first member of that array. So you're just shuffling the array and then you're getting the first member of that particular array. So, and then you want to give the max value, because I want to say max value of this to be 10, so that we know that but this is not going to be needed here. So since it's not a numeric spot, so we don't need to put max value on it. So after this, the next thing you want to do is to create for environment for weapon. So the weapon is also going to be shuffled. So I'm just going to say weapon here. So it's going to be shuffled, and then we'll grab a new one after each shuffling. Excuse me. Okay, great. So the next thing I want to do, want to extract the rarity trait. All right, so let's go here. Call this rarity All right, so it goes into that rarity and does exactly the same thing. Take note here, what we are doing is we are creating an array here. This thing called arrays, 10, it actually creates 10 different arrays, and it just get the keys of them. The keys is what, from 0 to what, 10. You understand? And with that, we just want to what, extract, want to make sure that this thing is ordered, from 0 to 9 or 10. That is, it is there. That is why we are arranging it this way. Okay, so what is actually is like an array. This is an array. Okay, so that is for rarity trait. So that is what it works. Afterward, now I want to add extra information. Okay, for this rarity trait, please pay attention. I want to add a max value. Okay, the max value is going to be like 10. That is the maximum, so that it won't go past there. All right, it's very important. For example, if you check here, if you see this rarity, see that the max value here is 4 out of 3. So that is why we are adding that max value there, so that it will enrich our NFT. Okay, so with that said, let's add dates. These are like display component. They are not like traits, but they are like display type. Okay, so for example, what does that mean? You come here, you see this date here, Wednesday, September 14th. That is what it means. It is a different thing altogether. So want to assign it, say display type. The display type is called dates, because I'm sure they have other types. So we have trait type, I think could have just easily copy that, instead of me doing this myself. I could just come here and duplicate this, remove this, add this up, so basically this is created. So the trait type is what created, and the value basically is date.now. So date.now, so it's going to actually grab the current date that we do have now. So that is for that first display, and then we need a second display. This second display is going to be called it's going to be a number. All right, and this is just generation, and let's just give it the value of 1. So this is the first generation. So let's save that. For example, look at this. This has generation. Okay, where are you, generation? Okay, where are you? Oops. These levels, dates, details. Okay, maybe. All right, so for now let's leave that and let's continue. Let's move on. So basically that is generation, and it basically just is one of the components here, but I just can't see it right now. That is just all, but is part of the things that are needed, by OpenSea when you're creating your metadata. So these are like all the metadata information that you will need. Right now, if I do console.log, and what am I logging? This metadata, right? So let's save that. Let's come here and make sure that we first of all say clear, and okay, so now let's run this on the terminal. So let's say process. So it goes about, you see, look at, these are different different NFT. One of the things that you didn't know, take note, is that after this we're supposed to make sure that we increment, the last thing there, we'll make sure we increment let image counter, the plus plus. Okay, so now let's run this again. Okay, now with that, you see we have, each one of them, like you have this 48 number 40 ID of number hardware NFT, you have this information about it, the price, the demand is 4, these are the attributes, trait, environment, desert, weapon is axe, rarity type is 7 out of max value of 10, have 8, created at, you have display type, generation value. The same, you have this one, you have this environment is still desert, but the weapon is gone this time. You have this one, the environment is rainforest, the weapon is stick. This is the environment is mountain, weapon is club. So these things are being generated by us. So these are the metadata that we're going to be needing to execute this code. So with that said, we need to enter the next step of this. The next step of it is actually to write this file. I want to output it inside of this output folder here. So that's what we're going to be doing next. So we want to say if condition, if the file string exists sync. So basically this is used to return true or false if a path is a particular location exists, right? So we want to say, let's use this. I want to say if this input, okay, this input slash the original file name plus original file extension, of course. Okay, so if this file exists in that art directory, so if it exists there, that is what we're trying to do. So what we want to do is to want to sharpen it. We want to use that sharp library now. So this is how I use the sharp library to supply in a particular location, so where the image is. So this is the image location here. All right, so I'm going to pass that into this sharp library here, and and then it has this method. The first method that it gives us is a method called resize, which is one of the things that we want, resize. So we want to resize it to a certain dimension. Remember, we specified 500 by 500 as the height. So what we just need to do is to come here and specify the image size dot the height, and then image size dot the width. Okay, so it will pass in the dimension of the file. Second one, we want the output to be in a certain file format. So we can choose PNG, JPEG, or WebP, but let's check PNG because we already specified PNG before, so let's use that for now. So to file, okay, so this to file method, of course we're still going to pass this thing, but this time around we don't want this the name of it, we don't want it to be the original name. Instead we want and this location is going to be output this time. All right, so that is where you're putting the image, and the file name is going to be the image counter. So like 1, 2, 3, you understand that? So and then the extension is actually going to be the desired extension, which is what we specified here. The desired extension is what? PNG. All right, so with that said, there is something we missed about this NFT here, and I quickly want to get it resolved. I didn't include the image, okay, which is really important because you can't miss that. The image basically is the base URI, which is this that we supply, this base URI, okay, base URI plus the image counter. You understand that? Or you can say the ID, any one of them, you know, plus the desired extension. All right, so this is how you get the image listed there, because notice that the image have, you know, right here we see that no images were being listed as part of this, but which defeats the entire purpose of also actually creating this thing. That image is super important. So now back to this place. So this is it. This is where we are outputting this, each one of those images. We are processing it, we are dumping it at this output, and the name is going to be the image counter, you know, which you can just say the ID, basically the ID of the image plus what, the desired extension. Fantastic. So now the next thing we want to do, I want to log out okay, so this particular method has a callback function which contains an error if there is an error, you know, and an information. So we just need to log console.log and logging out that error if there is an error, basically. So but if there is no error, so there is no need for us, you know, doing that. So now let's save this and let's execute this on the terminal and see how it works. Okay, so I'm going to run this script again. Okay, kind of finished running, and you can see the images thing is actually being added now. You see our output, you can see all the images are being processed right now. See how cool it is. All of them have the same dimensions and they are all cut because they are trimmed out like that. It's a lot, you know, it's a lot easier and simpler, and the size is even reduced. For example, this is the preprocessor. If I come here and check the get information about this, you see that these images took about 111.8 megabytes, the original one of it. So now let's check the output, which contains all of these images. Let's check it out now. You can see that if I do get information, it was reduced from 111 to what? To 62.1 megabyte. Although it's still large, but it's a lot more streamlined because we are actually processing it using this sharp, you know, sharp library, you know, that is provided for us. Okay, so we're not done in this place. You know, we can see everything is working great. So the next thing we want to do is the metadata. We also want to generate the metadata as well. So to generate that, all we need to do is to write. So let's write this in. Say file stream the write file sync. Okay, so we specify this same location. This is location, right? So this is the location where we want to also dump these files. So we say okay, and this is the location I want to dump it, and the name, basically the extension that we're going to be using is dot, we can't do this like this now. Instead, we just say dot JSON. So it's going to be dot JSON this time around. Okay, so each one make sure that the metadata is being converted to JSON. That is just what we're trying to do here. And we want to make sure that we are converting this to JSON. So we say JSON dot stringify. Okay, and we're passing the metadata. All right, and of course there's also a third parameter called which is an object. Say encoding. The encoding is UTF-8 and the flag is actually W, as in for write. Great. So we have all that written for us, formatted for us this way. So this time around, now let's run this again and see how it looks now. So let's run that. Okay, see that this time around it generated the JSON string. These are the metadata. This is what will be used by IPFS when it is being uploaded on the server. So you see that all those our metadata have now been generated. You can see for PNG, each one of them have metadata and all of that kind of thing. But that's not all. Want to make this thing a lot much, how will I say this? Want to make it so much cleaner. All right, so for example, let's delete all the things inside here and we'll still come back again. Okay, let's remove it. Okay, so want to output it in, let's say, images slash, and then say metadata slash. All right, so let's run this, and we don't want PNG, we want WebP, because WebP actually is a lot. WebP is a lot simplified. What do I mean by that? You see that the PNG gave us about 60 something megabytes, which is still really huge file size. So WebP is a lot more compressed, cleaner, sharper, and just straight to the point. It reduces the file size for us, which is what we're trying to attain, because we don't want the size of the files to be too much. So let's run this again. Okay, it's not working out for us, being that. So what we need to do is to create two folders inside of this place. Call one images, and then we'll call another one metadata. Okay, so let's run this again. Okay, all the things are generated here. We have the images, and now we have the metadata as well being generated for us. So now let's see, this is the size of, let's just check how interesting, how cool this is. This is the size of what the entire image is. It went from 62 point something megabytes to what, 4.5 megabyte, only that small, which is cool, which was like one size of an image, but now all those images are compressed into just that little file size. This is just an amazing stuff. This is exactly what you need, you understand, to make your metadata a lot more streamlined for you. Hope you're getting value from this tutorial so far. I would like you to really smash and subscribe, smash that subscribe button, so that you'll be getting some really cool information such as this. We're not done yet. I just want to let you know that, so that you won't forget. Okay, so now with that done, it is now time for us to actually move this data into what the IPFS ecosystem. Okay, to do that, first thing first, we want to what? Install IPFS desktop. So if you're on Mac or Windows, just come to this place, follow the instruction here, and have the application installed on your local machine. Fantastic. Once that is done, you go about opening it. Let me open it for you. This is my app. Onto IPFS here. Ooh. Okay, so this is IPFS desktop client. This is how it looks. So once you have it installed, it's going to look like this. This is the status of your connection. So this states whether you're connected to the IPFS or not. So now it is connected to the IPFS. All I just need, and you can see there is incoming and outgoing network in interaction. So I'm gonna come to my files here. Currently, I have one artworks that for one of my projects that are already listed here. So for the sake of this tutorial, I want to also do this right now. This is what I want to do. Let's import that NFT artwork folder. The images only, okay, not the JSON metadata. So we come here and say import folder. All right, so we're gonna come. Let's get to onto here site preprocessor. No. Cancel. Come here, but let's do that again. Folder. We're not importing this art. We're not importing this output either. What we want to import is what this image folder, images. Okay, so select the images, not the metadata. The images, the metadata contain the JSON file. Images contain the WebP files. So upload these ones, and you can see all the images have been uploaded to the internet. So we have them all there, and you can see the CID, the content ID, ends with first. That is 1ST. Okay, we can even rename this. Okay, let's just have it there. Okay, but this can only be accessible from your computer. But what we are trying to do is to make it global, accessible all around the web. All right, so for us to do this, how we can do this is to use a pinning service. Okay, so but before we do that, let's just finish up something. See this CID, this content ID. I want you to copy it. Just right click and copy CID. All right, you can even share the link, copy the link right here, which is exactly how it is. So, and if you come to where is it? This is our artwork. So you can see how the naming structure is https:/ipfs.io/ IPFS/. This is what we want, but we want to replace this CID here. We want to replace it all the way. Okay, so to do that, all we just need to do is to come to, let's come to these so to replace that, let's go back to this IPFS class, copy the CID. When you copy the CID, or you can just copy the link, share link, just say copy link. Fantastic. Come to this place, this base URL, and replace replace it with this URL. Make sure you end with a /. It's very important that you do so. Okay, so you could just save it. All right, now when you save it, you have to run this again, because as of this point, this JSON metadata, they don't have this information. You see that this is all this. They want to update it. We want to make sure that it's bearing all this, base this image URL correctly, because it's very important that it does. If it doesn't, the entire mission has actually failed. So run this thing again. The entire thing is run and it's complete. So for example, if I open this place now, if I open here, alright, see, this is exactly how the naming structure need to be, exactly like this. That means we are on safe ground now. So now what I want to do, also want to deploy these want to also deploy this JSON metadata to the IPFS. But the cool thing now is that this second JSON metadata is going to be pointing to this image folder, which is the most important thing that we want to achieve. So I come to this folder, be here in output. So in this output, this is the metadata folder that we want to upload this time. So you click on upload and it goes about uploading it, and once it's done, it is uploaded. But this is only sitting in our computer, it's not on the internet. So we want to make sure that it's on the internet so that we can have access to it all around the web. So to do that, we have to pin it. Okay, if I want to set pinning right now, if you pin it to your local computer, it's only going to be available on your local computer. Okay, but we don't want that. We want to pin it so that it will be accessed, it will spread across all the computers on the web. It will have copies, distributed across the web, so that it will always be available there and not be removed. So we need to use Pinata service provider for that. So to do that, all you just need to do is to come to Pinata, sign up. Once you sign in, everything, click on this API key. All right, once you have this API key, and then you create an API key. For example, you come here and create, this is an API key that I've created of recent. You can just quickly come here and say add new one, and then when you create it, you add the name of the key, and then you actually create it. So by doing that, all you need to do is to copy this particular API key. When you copy it, now you come to what? So you come to IPFS now, go to settings, okay, and then say add service. All right, so which service do you want to add? Custom one, but we already have Pinata here, so you just click on Pinata, and then you actually supply your secret token. Okay, so how do you get your secret token? How you get your secret token is by, so for example, let's create a dummy one. I'm going to just remove it after out here. So let's say demo, and then create. So create. Okay, so you see it's created, and this is what your this thing here, this entire long string, this is your JSON, your secret access token. So you copy that, okay, you copy that, and then you come to IPFS here and click on add Pinata, and then you just make sure you paste it here, and this is what your access, and then you click on save. But I've already done this already with this Pinata one here. Once you add that, fantastic. The next thing you need to do now is to come here and pin these two services. I'm going to pin this one to Pinata, and also pin this one to so this one I'm pinning here. Don't mind this particular one in here, but let me just copy the CID. Come to this place here, and let's change this. okay, let's find this image batch. You see it hasn't synchronized yet, and you can still see that most of these gateways providers, they have not actually found this image on the web yet. The location that is this particular images, they are not found on the web yet, so it hasn't synchronized properly, so it's still trying to synchronize. And once it does, it will start identifying. Like you can see, this one of these service providers have identified this one. Like now when I click on this link, it's only one for now, so and sometimes this thing take a while for you to properly synchronize. Okay, so now that is still searching all around the web. Okay, come on. Okay, you can see these are all our images here. Fantastic. Like this is what this image here. By the way, while that is loading, let's search for it again and see. You see, more gateways are catching it now. Like you can see that 2 gateways are able to find this particular resource on the web. So I'm just going to close this one and let's use this particular second one. Okay, fantastic. You see it's loaded. Now let's check this first image. It could take a while. So but you can see each one of these images are being cached to different gateways. More gateways are being able to find that entire image collection on the web, which is great. You see this one, see it's being located now. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so now the images are being cached. Like if I do this now, you see more services are catching it. But the problem is that you see for this particular one, if I come this metadata, I copy the CID, come to this place, paste it here, and let's say search for it. It's not being located, it's not found at all on the web because we've not pinned it. If you don't pin it, it cannot be located on the internet. So you have to pin it first. This thing here is not going to work. Like you can't even have access to it because it's not on the web yet. So to pin it on the web, all you need to do is to come to your IPFS and make sure you click on set pinning, use pinata, apply. Understand? So it's been pinned on the web. So now I could come here. Let's trigger a search process again. It could take a couple of moments to get all synchronized, so you gotta bear with it. Okay, so let's search for it again. It's still searching, it's still interacting with the web. Oops. Okay, it's being cached right now. You can see this gateway has found it. Let's do that again. Let's do a different search. See, come on. More IPFS gateways that will start being able to locate or identify this particular resource where it is on the web. You can see I'm having many IPFS gateway caching this particular item. So now let's click on this one and find it. Each one of not all of them operate at the same speed though. So like this one has found it. Like for example, when I check this number 1, you see these are the information we created. This is where it is, and if I click on this place, it will take you to where the image is located on the web. This one too, let's say click here. See that it takes you to exactly where the image is on the web, and here you can see the dimension of the image and all the information such as that. Like this is the 18th NFT basically, and you can see so this is how cool it is to pre-process your NFT for use on your NFT project. So this is your IPFS thing. This is how you get your entire works on the IPFS, and have with this now all you just need, this is your base URL. This you can use any one of these now as your base URI. For example, this is a base URI here. This particular thing is a base URI. No, not this one. Here basically is a base URI, because I could just remove this. Let's remove this. Okay, so this is a base URI. I copy this and put it in my smart contract. When I'll be minting my NFT, it will be using this thing to be minting the right images in the right location. So I hope you you really enjoy this tutorial, because this is how you get this whole thing here. Without this method that I just showed you, you can't be able to have all your stuff listed on the OpenSea platform and other platform that utilizes this sort of things. So I hope you got a ton of values from this teaching today, and I would like you to hit that subscribe button, because it's kind of essential for the growth of the channel. And I would like to get your comments on this comment section, what you would like to see in the upcoming tutorials. Till then, I love you guys, so take care. Bye bye.